Hi guys. So, okay, let me summarize for you what's going to happen tomorrow because it's a very, very important day. And I think a lot of people are probably not following. They know that Pala Pala, it's got to do with the dollars that were found under the sofas, in the sofas with President. But no one is following how did it get to the Constitutional Court, and what is it exactly? What is the judgment that is expected out of the Constitutional Court? How is it going to affect the South African citizens? How is it going to affect how we view our courts and all that? What's going to happen to the president? So let me quickly summarize. I wish I actually shot a YouTube video for this. I'm only thinking now to make a video. Okay, so when the dollars were found in the President Ramaphosa's sofas, so you know that you are not supposed to carry foreign currency in South Africa, and then you don't declare it. And then it was said that it was to purchase buffaloes, all the story and the drama, but I'm not there. The matter was taken to court, to Parliament, right? Where in Parliament they constituted an independent panel, right? The panel was constituted to find Uguti is there prima facie evidence to find Uguti is the grounds for the president to be investigated about this money. Could it be allegedly money laundering? Could it be allegedly something shady, right? Let alone is the South African Constitution does not allow you to have foreign currency with with those large amounts and undeclared, because the money was never declared. But because the president is the president, when it got to Parliament, the independent panel said that there was prima facie evidence, right? Or prima facie, like there was some shady things that needed to be investigated. But because the ANC in the sixth administration, right, before the 2024 elections, because the ANC had majority, they were able to vote in Parliament, and they said the Pala Pala thing must be shut down. It must not be investigated further. It must not go to the what is this, the impeachment committee, right? Yaphela yavaleka kanjalo. The EFF fought, said nope. It's not fair that a president is not above the law, and it's not fair that because the ANC it has majority, they can just vote for things in Parliament, and then things get shut down, even though they are not they're against the Constitution. So because now the EFF and the smaller other parties lost the votes in Parliament, the EFF took it to the Constitutional Court. Uguti, court, help us, because the ANC here is kind of abusing us. Uguti, they vote, they know they've got majority, they are hiding each other, they are defending each other in criminality, allegedly in corruption, because they've got majority, they can just vote. That was before the 2024 elections. Now we had elections in 2024. Of course, the numbers change. ANC is no longer the majority. Hence, now they are in GNU with our DA to try and get numbers, right? The game has changed. Now, what the Constitutional Court is going to be doing tomorrow, because the ANC voted that they will not continue to investigate ukuthi president yayintoni emdibanisa nemali zifihlwe phansi kwesopa angasebhankini, foreign currency, large amounts of money. The buffaloes, they were bought, they were never taken. What was happening there? Yabo. Now, number one, the Constitutional Court posted and said, tomorrow what they are going to do, they are going to establish ukuthi, did the National Assembly, which is the parliament, fail to carry out its constitutional obligation to put in place effective mechanisms to hold the president accountable. So first of all, the Constitutional Court is going to do a judgment. Did Parliament fail to hold the president accountable? Instead of them going further to investigate, taking the prima facie evidence that was the report that was put together by the independent panel, taking it further to a committee where there will be more investigations. Did Parliament fail to hold the president accountable? That is number one. And because the ANC was in majority, so they just voted and they shut everything down. But thank God, and shout out to the EFF for taking it to the Constitutional Court, because without the EFF, that thing would have been shut down and the president would have walked away free. But the EFF hung onto that thing like a dog hanging onto a bone. Shout out, and shout out to Zungula as well, because Zungula is kept on fighting as well. So the Constitutional Court is going to firstly find out ukuthi did the National Assembly fail to carry out its constitutional obligations to put in place an effective mechanism to hold the president accountable, right? Number two, is the National Assembly's decision to not refer the independent panel's report to the impeachment committee unconstitutional? The EFF said it is unconstitutional the fact that the ANC can just decide to go to the after such evidence. And the president, by the way, was asked by the independent panel to answer things. He did not he is not deny that there were dollars in his sofa. He did not deny. So the Constitutional Court number 2 will find out ukuthi is the National Assembly decision, because after the majority voted, they took a decision that they must shut it down. Is the decision to shut it down and not move the case to the impeachment committee unconstitutional now, which it is unconstitutional, by the way. You can't just break the law and then we move on and pretend like nothing happened. And then point number 3, it says that the economic freedom fighters and another, which I think it's the ATM, versus the Speaker of the National Assembly and others. Because the Speaker of the National Assembly, which is that time the Speaker was Uno Seviwe, that was the 6th administration. Now it's Toko Didiza. So I'm not sure if they're going to bring Uno Seviwe Ngabula, the previous Speaker, Toko Didiza is going to take off. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Now, because we are all paying attention now, we know the president had the dollars. The Constitutional Court is like our last stop. If the Constitutional Court says that the president is free, what Parliament did is not wrong, then it's going to be the end of Pela Pala. And I think the citizens are going to lose, South Africans are going to lose faith in our systems. I mean, it's been accused so much in courts and all that. The judges, they've been accused so much. And I think this is the last straw where they have to defend their reputation. The Constitutional Court has to defend their reputation. And if they let Ramaphosa walk free on this one, then we would know that we've tried everything. We've tried everything to hold him accountable, and they just let him free. But if it goes back, if the Constitutional Court rules in favor of the EFF and it goes back to Parliament, all hell is it's gonna break loose. President might be might be impeached. I'm sure he will have to go. And then because what's gonna happen is ANC no longer has majority. So if it's taken to Parliament, they can no longer vote to go to, let's shut this thing down. So everyone will want this thing to be investigated, and more things will come out, and it will honestly just be very, very messy for the president, and he will not survive it. That's why they've been trying so long to hide it, because they knew he was not going to survive. That's why he tried to resign, but they didn't allow him to resign, so yeah. So we are expecting, either way it goes, it's going to be bad. It will even be worse for the ANC. It will be bad for the ANC because we are also in election season right now. So it's going to be crazy. So yeah, anyway, I was trying to summarize, guys. If I made an error on something, you're welcome to correct me. But I think I've tried to summarize everything. So tomorrow at 10, everybody will be glued. The whole country will be buzzing. The whole country will be buzzing. And I do hope that the court rules in favor of the motion of the EFF. We definitely want to see this through. If it rules in the favor of the EFF, it's the end for president.